Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Basham, Akal Kadash, the bonus and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Wisdom Rule Well. This is Brahmanasha, DC Camp, Shirtless and for the hopeful elect. The UK is just another hotbed of drama when it comes to the kingdom of Esau, all right? And, it's just on its last leg, just like Babylon the Great, or aka America. Yeah, so, they got this scandal over there of the prime minister, accepting, folks that twisted and joined up with the E-class in his administration, and in certain positions, man, it requires a background check, national security vetting, and that's what the UK has been dealing with ever since, man. That Esau is on a rush to herald in his kingdom. So all these scandals just keep popping up all over the place. So you have the politicians over there, man. They're just running over themselves, man. To get their 2 cents out, and it's getting really messy. When you watch that movie, Children of Men, then you have an idea of how the UK is going to descend into chaos just because the elites want to have their NWO. All right. So, I played a clip, and then you just understand that, certain things, man, in this world, have to fall apart, for the truth of this gospel to be acknowledged. And the kingdom of Esau has to be shaken apart, man. That's exactly what you're going to be witnessing in the last days. So you see right there, Mendelssohn scandal. That's the so-called ambassador. What do you call it? So-called what do you call it? Yes, UK, whatever position he had. With the UK, man, to the United States. Who knows what other positions he's had? But this is not the first time he's had, to resign from a position.
Zara Sultana said what many were thinking on Monday when she broke parliamentary rules by calling the Prime Minister a barefaced liar over the appointment of Peter Mandelson as US Ambassador. Speaker Lindsay Hoyle huffed and puffed like a pompous schoolmaster, losing his cool with a pupil who exposes the hypocrisy of power by saying what many are thinking. Starmer told the House of Commons that no one told him anything. He sacked the Foreign Office chief who had not told him that Mandelson had failed security vetting. But that civil servant was just doing his job and following the rules. Starmer told MPs, "I know many members across this House will find these facts to be incredible." Cue mass laughter. Starmer is rudderless, driving the Docklands driverless train without the guidance of his advisor, Morgan McSweeney. Starmer fired him over his backing of Mandelson for the job in Washington. The McSweeney-Mandelson affair now reaches its nadir as the permanent secretary who Starmer sacked last week, Ollie Robbins, gave his account to the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. In his measured and calm civil servant's tone, one devastating answer after another squarely showed that Number 10 wanted Mandelson in DC at all costs. Security vetting be damned. Robbins said there was an atmosphere of constant pressure, constant chasing from Downing Street to get Mandelson through the door. But of course, Starmer, the boss of that office, says he had no idea about any of this.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you're building a cabinet, a cabinet of ministers. You know, deals take place, and then folks get those positions, just like they throw people, overseas, man, to become ambassadors to the state of Israel, to China, to Japan, to the UK, to Africa. You could always see the type of people they hire as ambassadors to those third world countries, whether it's Niger, Mali, Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, South Africa, um, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, Pakistan. You always have those ambassadors that get put there for specific reason. And it's just how it is, man. It's how the elites work. you know. And then when things don't go as planned, man, they have to work it back. So this is the drama, we got to deal with on a daily basis. Man. You have a lot of people in high positions that have no business being there, and that's a reflection of Esau's kingdom. He has no integrity, to sit in a position of rulership. So that's a problem that the earth has, man. So many people in these positions, man, they just don't have the level of integrity that the people are looking forward to. That's why you have protests, all over the earth. So I'll read from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verse 5. All right. Jeremiah 9 and 4 says, take ye heed, every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. So that's the game of politics, man. It's always about blackmail. That's the culture. You're gonna see among these politicians, corruption and bribery. All right, and cronyism. All right, and then verse 5 says, and they will deceive every one of his neighbor. So when they're campaigning, for all these electoral positions, man, during election time, it's just what you call a hogwash, man. And they will deceive everyone, his neighbor. They always make promises, and then they can't deliver. And then the people start debating among themselves, what's going on, this and that and this and that, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Yeah, so that's that's one of the telltale signs of a kingdom that is doomed to fall. And then verse 6 says, thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, said the Lord. Yeah, so the the government of Esau is falling apart, man. You know, that's the issue that they cannot have. You know, because that spirit of deception, the spirit of the serpent, you know, it's hard to suppress it, man, and it just irritates the people so bad. Book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 10 verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right, so there's nothing but chaos in the kingdom of Esau, man. When you have a chaotic government, a chaotic administration, it shows you there is no prudence, you know, in their goings. All right, there is no prudence in the administration of their duties. Okay, it's just one drama after the next. You know, resignation, resignation, resignation. You know, you hear about all types of accusations, and then when the shoe drops, it's like, people don't have anything positive to hear anymore, man. That's what dominates the news cycles, and they use these politicians as gatekeepers, man. Because these positions in government are supposed to be used to watch out for the people. It's like the scripture talks about, taking care of the poor and the needy, the orphans and the widows, and all that, but it doesn't. The safety net of a society. It's not really the resources it has; it's the type of people that occupy positions of authority. Now you have all these people are stressed out. And yeah, they're upset. Vandalisms all over the place, lawsuits all over the place. Contamination all over the place. So, Book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and 12 says, "If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked." So that's what you're going to continue to see as you pay attention to Esau's actions across the globe. It's nothing but lies and deception when you begin to probe what they've been doing, you know. So, and then Trump talks about whoever, doesn't believe his accounts of events, doesn't agree with his position, he likens it unto treason. Yeah, man, that's what happens, man. When the lie is running out of steam, is running out of momentum, you just have all type of irrational responses that cannot hold its weight under scrutiny. Okay, so another precept we'll look into will be from the book of Philippians. All right, Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8. So this advice, for brothers, it says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." So that's exactly, what the Lord wants us to focus on a daily basis, man. You want the lines of the Lord, to permeate through your soul, permeate through your spirit, so you can have a balanced approach, to all these chaotic drama, that's affecting the people's psyche. Okay, so you have to remember, man, it's an uphill battle when you deal with an unstable administration, that prevents the rise of righteousness through their tricks. But end of the day, man, they can't hold it for too long, man. They can't hold it for too long because their rulership has to expire. You know, the rulership of Edom has to fall apart.
Bobbins also revealed that Number 10 wanted the Foreign Office to find a head of mission position for the former Labour advisor, Matthew Doyle, who was later exposed for supporting the election campaign of a convicted paedophile. Starmer made Doyle a lord. There's a pattern here. Starmer's attempt to deflect blame rests on the truly incredible claim that he appointed Mandelson without realising he was a security risk. Even the dogs in the street knew about his friendship with child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his many murky business links. Mandelson was arrested in February for allegedly sending privileged, market-sensitive information to Epstein during the financial crisis. To understand why Starmer was prepared to take such a risk with Mandelson, we have to go back to the 2024 elections.
So that's another issue, man. That troops lose battles. The leak of classified information. That's another thing that troops have to deal with. Military service members, man. When the classified information gets released, gets smuggled out of a country, it becomes a problem. It becomes the Achilles heel of of an attack, to overcome the enemy. So that's the reason why a lot of soldiers, have all type of mental issues, man, because the upper echelons, man, have been infiltrated with all these cronyism tactics, man, of the elites. The battles of having true soldiers that can maintain integrity and honor and all that stuff, those days have faded away, man. All they have now is just a ragtag of, rebels, that want to rule the world. But, the world is just not ready for that, man. It just, trying to blow them off, trying to ignore them, but they keep on jumping into the, into the spotlight, man. So that's the issue with Issa, man. The spotlight is no longer benefiting him, man, but he still wants to be there no matter what the cost. So this is what you're gonna have to deal with, man. You have all types of reports getting leaked because the structure, it's not fit. It's not fit to be there to be governing the people. So the system has to fall apart, man. The tree has to be shaken. So all the fruits of their so-called deceptive labor, has to be, has to drop off the branches, man. So the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and 9 says, "Woe to him that coveted an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil." Yeah, so they can't sustain their glory like they really want to, man, because the age of enlightenment, is progressing. The time that ignorance had so much power over the people, is diminishing, and they're upset. That's why censorship, It's at an all-time high. They're depending on these tech platforms to censor people that speak truth to power. All right, and then verse 10, Habakkuk 2 and saying, Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Yeah, so it's just evidence that Esau's society is not sustainable. The Lord did not give Esau that luxury to build his society upon righteousness, man. You know, he lived by the sword. So what happens? You know, there is no there is no proper rulership, man. To be established by the sword. So it has to fall by the sword, and the lies, the lies that he once held on to as by his the great and mighty ruler upon the face of the earth. It's fading away, man. Folks have realized that there are more important things on the earth than to be ruling by the sword. So that mindset has shifted. You see people, man, losing their lives on a daily basis, man. You know, over there in the Middle East, man, and they just keep taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it. See, these folks don't even fear death no more. They just keep on absorbing blow after blow after blow after blow. They keep on trying to rebuild their lives. But, it shows you, man, that, the signs are there, man, that Esau's influence to have the people bow down to him, it's waning, all right? So, final precept would be from the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and 13. It says, Whoso rewarded, whoso rewarded evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. And that's why the house of Edom is just experiencing all type of chaos, man. The house of Edom has become the laughing stock upon the face of the earth. When you look at all the AI videos, it's just hilarious, man. Even the so-called Europeans, don't even want anything to do with the United States anymore, man. They're just tired of being dragged along, man. They get tired of all the shenanigans that these folks in authority want to have eternal dominance. And people just want to get away, man. They want a better leadership, a better elected group of individuals that can take the courage and steer their society in a different direction, man. Because these so-called European countries, man, they're not feeling the vibes of America anymore, man. The people there are just tired of all the chaos. They've seen how the Amalekites have infiltrated, their positions of public office, and public trust of the government is just in the dumpster at this moment. And that's the reason why people are going to continue to protest, because the corruption is just too much. It's just too much. And the day, man, they'll have to have a clash. That's what is going to happen. Sooner or later, there'll be a clash between those that don't want to get out of the way and those that just want some peace of mind. So at the end of the day, man, it's gonna be a lot of you know folks screaming and yelling. The scripture talks about the uproars of the people, so expect to see more uproars of the people in these last days. So that's the summary of these lessons, man. The uproars of the people is gonna be sparked, you know, by the by the desire, to be free from all types of obstacles, man. These so-called politicians have become obstacles in the daily lives of the people, and the people just feel as if, man, they can't even, make any move forward, man, because the policies put in place by these government officials is not really helping the people. It's just putting them further and further and further back down the line. So, expect a lot of hot air and frustration, and yeah, it's gonna get violent when people just lose it. So that's about it. Baratazar, we follow up with some more lessons. Shalom.